Welcome in to the Roll Tide Rewind. We appreciate you joining us here this morning, right before the game start on March Madness. Filming this the night before while I'm watching Prairie View A&M and Lehigh in the first quarter. But I just want to preview this game first, and we'll go from there. So we're talking about Hofstra. Alabama plays Hofstra on Friday at 2:15 p.m. Central Time, 4 seed versus a 13 seed. Alabama is now an 11.5-point favorite. Alabama opened up as a 13.5-point favorite, but as we all know, Aden Holloway is not going to be playing in this game most likely, so that kind of puts a damper in those things. But Alabama is still an 11.5-point favorite despite that. We'll go into the numbers for Hofstra. Hofstra's ranked 87th in KenPom. That is the best of all the 13 seeds. The other 13 seeds, Cal Baptist is 106, Hawaii's 108th, and Troy is 143rd. So Hofstra separates from the pack of the 13 seeds. Alabama's an 11.5-point favorite against Hofstra, like I mentioned. That's the lowest number out of any of the 4-13 games. Arkansas is favored by 15.5 against Hawaii. Kansas 14.5 against Cal Baptist, and Nebraska 12.5 against Troy. So lowest line, but a lot of that I think has to do with Aden Holloway also not playing in the game. KenPom strength of schedule, 173rd for Hofstra. Obviously not what Alabama's schedule is. Alabama and KenPom, I think, is second right now. It's first, second, or third, but it's top three. They have not faced a top 100 team in KenPom since December 13th. They have beaten 83rd ranked Syracuse and 94th ranked Pittsburgh, but Alabama, I think in KenPom right now, Alabama is like 18th, so this is by far one of the best opponents Hofstra has played. They lost to the highest I think they've played is UCF, which is 54th, so this is definitely the upgrade for Hofstra. But we've seen upsets happen in March all the time. For example, I wrote the number down, number 4 seeds have won 78.8% against 13 seeds. A 13 has beaten a 4 in 28 of the last 39 tournaments. So this is a big area for upset for Alabama. But you see the quad 1, quad 2, quad 3, and quad 4 numbers there. Only one quad 1 opponent, I believe that was UCF. And most of their damage is done in quad 3 and quad 4 because it's a lower conference. But Hofstra, remember, is the school Aaron Estrada came from. He was a 2-time CAA Player of the Year at Hofstra, and he fitted really well at Alabama. They are coached by Speedy Claxton, former NBA player Speedy Claxton. He's also a great player at Hofstra. Hofstra likes to play slow. 317th in tempo. Alabama's 4th. So a big area in this game is Alabama going to be able to control the tempo? Because when Alabama played a team like, I think it was Grand Canyon, 2 years ago, Grand Canyon in the Final Four run, that game was a little bit of a struggle for Alabama, especially in the second half when Grand Canyon started to catch up because they started controlling the pace of the game. They started slowing the game down. They started getting to the free throw line, and that really slowed it down for Alabama. However, Alabama was able to pull it out at the end. You see the offensive rating 89th for Hofstra. Alabama's in the top 5, I believe, and then 95th in defensive rating, which is actually worse than Alabama's. I know people will knock on Alabama's defense, but Alabama's defense is not 95th. They're in the 60s. I think maybe falling into the 70s after the Ole Miss game, but it's actually higher. We'll go into the next part. A cool fun fact about Hofstra is they have a guard named Jaden Roberts. He was a guard member on Alabama's football team for the past 4 years, but they have another guy. His name is also Jaden Roberts, and he plays guard just on the basketball side of things. So Hofstra, they shoot 36.8% from 3, which is 27th in the country. Alabama shoots around 35.8%, which is not down to 81st in the country, but that's just a 1% difference, which is a big deal for three-pointers. They are, however, 91st in three-point attempts. Alabama is first. So if Hofstra is winning from the three-point line, that could bode trouble for Alabama, especially because Alabama is going to be more high on the three-pointers than Hofstra is. So that's something to watch out for. From the last 3 games, Hofstra shot 14 of 36. This is in their last 3 games in the CAA tournament. 14 of 36. Next game, 11 of 30. In the last game, 6 of 22. So had a game where they shot really well, had a game where they shot poorly, and had a game where they shot pretty good, over 30%. So just be sure to watch out for that in this game. We'll go into the next part here. 50th in offensive rebound percentage. This is a big deal because Alabama has been pretty bad at giving up offensive rebounds against Tennessee. I don't know how Alabama won that game at Tennessee after they gave up 23 or 24 offensive rebounds, but they found a way to. That's going to be a big deal in this game. Giving them extra chances to get buckets is all a 13 seed needs to get upsets on you. They are, however, 175th in average height. They have 2 7-footers. They don't really play them both at the same time most of the time. So that's something to watch out for Alabama's sake. I think if we can get a lot of good on the defensive rebounds, then that could be great news for us. With Grand Canyon, I put this in here because in the Grand Canyon game, Grand Canyon was one of the best teams in the country at getting to the free throw line, and that helped them slow tempo a lot. Hofstra doesn't get to the free throw line often. 254th in free throw attempts, 91st in free throw percentage, where Alabama actually gets to the free throw line 30th in the country, and they're 40th in percentage. So that's actually really, really good because Alabama, how they drive to the ball, they're very aggressive. LeBaron Philon's aggressive at getting to the basket. Aiden Sherrill is usually aggressive at getting to the basket. And that helps shoot more free throws. That helps get to the free throw line more. So something to look out for. If Alabama gets to the free throw line as often as they do, they need to be able to take advantage of it. Now, big deal that I'll talk about later is Aden Holloway is not going to play in this game. We'll talk about this more towards the end and give you a little bit more. But he's our second best free throw shooter. He shoots almost 86% from free throw line. So that's a big loss in this game. A guy that you can really count on to make free throws is also not going to be there. So we'll talk about Aden Holloway, like I said, more towards the end. Hofstra is great on defense. Number 4th in opponent field goal percentage at 38.7%. Number 19 in scoring defense, 66.1 points per game. They force long twos. They force the third lowest two-point percentage in the country. So forcing a lot of long twos, a lot of bad shots, and those are the shots that Alabama usually avoids taking. They don't usually take a lot of mid-range shots. So if they're forcing you into long twos, you're going to pass it out for a 3, you're going to pass it down low, or you're going to go for the shot because Hofstra likes to force you to do that. 10th lowest effective field goal percentage in the country as well. So this defense is really, really good. This is why they've been able to win these games. They're not high-scoring games at all that they're winning. So is Alabama going to push that to them, get to that 40-point mark in the first half and really make them think differently? That's going to be a big key for this game. Hofstra also, with their team, they only run with usually 7 players. We're going to go player by player so I can preview each one of them real quickly, and then we'll talk about Aden Holloway at the end. But Alabama usually runs with 9 to 10 players. So the legs will be a little bit fresher for Alabama, but sometimes in March, like last year with Maryland, they only played really with 5 guys, and they got to the Sweet 16. So something to look out for. First player, Cruz Davis, is their best player. He 19 20-point games, CAA Player of the Year, just like Aaron Estrada was, 20.2 points per game, 4.6 assists. He shoots almost 40% from 3, and it's not like he's shooting 83s this year. He's attempted over 200. 83% from the free throw line. He doesn't get to the free throw line a ton, but he does get there, and he's very effective from the free throw line. So he's 6'3". He's a little bit shorter than LeBaron Philon is, but this is the guy to watch out for. This is the guy who's going to be their main bucket getter. We'll go to the next guy who's also probably between him and Cruz Davis. They account for almost 50% of the points is Preston Edmeade, 15.9 points per game. He also shoots very highly from the three-point line, 38.3%, which, again, he's attempted over 200 threes as well. So they're both shooting effectively, and they're shooting a lot. Also 83% from the free throw line. He's 6'1", a little bit shorter. He's kind of like more Aden Holloway's height. They're going to rely, like I said, on these 2 guys for half of their scoring, and they play a lot of minutes. Preston Edmeade has averaged 35 minutes per game the last 8 games. So in only one of those games, he hit 25, and it was because they were up by a lot of points. So he's going to play. He's going to play a lot. So Preston Edmeade is probably the guy to watch out for. Joshua Decady, he is not a strong three-point shooter, shoots 28.1%. However, he's lengthy, 6'8", 220, and he's also not the best free throw shooter. So if you can get him to the free throw line a lot, that can be very beneficial for Alabama. Only 6 points per game. He's 30 minutes, though, so he's going to play a lot. He works out a lot as a defender. So watch out for him to maybe be on LeBaron Philon or Amari Allen to limit what they can do. German Plotnikov is really good three-point shooter. 2 or more threes in the 5 of the last 6 games, 37.7% from the three-point line. In games where he's made 3 or more threes in a game, they have not lost. He's done that like multiple times. I didn't count the number, but 3 or more threes in a game, they have not lost. He gets 32 minutes per game. He's a guy to watch out for. He's like the wild card in this from deep, kind of like how I don't want to compare him to Cormac Ryan, but Cormac Ryan, he went deadly from against Alabama when he on 3 when he was at Notre Dame. He also hit 5 threes in the Sweet 16 game when he was in North Carolina. So just the guy, a wild card to watch out for when, especially on defense for Alabama, is going to be him. We'll go to the next guy, Biggie Patterson. Nothing too flashy on Biggie Patterson. He is third on the team in points per game at 9.5, 15 10-point games. He's a 6'7" guard, so he's a big guard, probably matches up well with like Amari Allen, like we said earlier with Joshua Decady. 20 minutes per game, 5th on the team. So he's scoring very effectively. He's only, like I said, he's third on the team in points, but he's 5th in minutes. So when he's in, we better watch for him to score. Better watch for him to not be efficient with that because he's obviously scores pretty quickly whenever he is in. Now we'll go to their big guys. Silas Sunday, 6.9 rebounds per game, is tied for the best on the team with the last guy we'll talk about. 7 feet tall, 5.2 points per game, 1 block a game. He also averages less than 20 minutes per game. So he's not playing a ton with their game. He's their best rebounder, like it leads them in blocks. He shoots 67% from field goal, and he's 282 pounds. He's a huge dude. But like I said, he's not playing a lot of minutes a game, and I think it's because of the last guy's also playing his minutes as well. So something to watch out for if we get him to foul trouble, so he's not playing as often. But Aden Sherrill is going to be the best big guy on the floor. That's going to be a known thing, and Aden Sherrill is going to have to dominate in this game, I think, especially with Aden Holloway being out of the game. But we'll talk about the last guy, he's 6'10", 235, less than 18 minutes per game, is Victory Onitu. I'll say Victory. Victory is his – I swear when I put this in, I thought it was a typo, but no, his name is Victory. I thought it was Victor. 6.9 rebounds per game, just like Silas Sunday, 4.7 points per game, 1 block a game, 56.8% field goal percentage. This is going to have to be Aden Sherrill's game. Noah Williamson probably will get playing time, and Aden Sherrill is going to have to be the difference maker in this game for Alabama. I think 55.1% from the field, 32.4% from 3. These other guys aren't shooting 3-pointers. Victory and Silas, I think, combined for 1 made 3-pointer, maybe even 0. They don't shoot from 3 a lot. They're not 3-point guys. So Aden's going to have to be big in this game. We'll mention one other player, Josh Aaron Reeves. He's a 6-year senior. He gets some playing time as well. He hasn't got playing time in every game, but another guy to watch out for if he gets to play. But the big deal is Aden Holloway's not playing in this game. 16.8 points per game, which is 2nd on the team. 3.8 assists per game, 2nd on the team. 43.8% from 3 is 1st on the team, and it's top 15 in the country. And 86.4% from free throw, which is 2nd on the team. So this is a big loss. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And the games that he's missed this year, I think he's missed 4 games this year. I looked at the 4 games that we missed. Against North Dakota, which is the first game, we were 8 of 27 from 3. Against Clemson, we were 12 of 34. Against UTSA, I forgot how many threes we shot in this game, 16 of 57. And then against Tennessee, we were 6 of 26. In those games, if you combine all that up, we were 29.1% shooting from 3. As a team for the whole year, we're 35.8%. So that's a 6% decrease in 3-point mates without Aden Holloway. That's a big deal. 6% is a big deal. Against Clemson, they were 36. They're now 36 in KenPom, and Tennessee is 16th. We actually won the game against Clemson when we shot 12 of 34, which 12 of 34 certainly isn't bad. It's more than 30, almost over 35%. But sets of 26 against Tennessee is not great. They're 16th in KenPom. We were close to winning that game, but they pulled away near the end of the game, like last 5 minutes. Clemson, we were able to win. So we have gone without Aden Holloway against 2 great teams. We were able to win 1 and we lost 1. But the good news is Clemson was 36 in KenPom when we won. Tennessee is 16th, Clemson is now 36 in KenPom. We won. Tennessee was 16th. We lost. And Hofstra is 87th in KenPom. So we'll see what happens. I think Alabama is to pull out against Hofstra. I think it's going to be a closer game just because of it being a March game. Aden Holloway is also not there. It adds a little more stress to the table. But if Alabama can make it to the Sweet 16, I think that's an impressive feat, especially without your second best player, your second best scorer, best shooter. I think it's impressive. But let's get to the Hofstra game first. I think Alabama gets over 80. I just don't think they get much more over 80, maybe like 82. And then Hofstra is not too far behind, but I do think there's going to be a time where LeBaron Philon is going to take over and get us to the second round. So leave your thoughts in the comment section on what you think about Hofstra. Do you think they get the upset? Do you think it's going to be closer than 11.5 point spread like I do? Or you think it's going to be a blowout by 30-something points? They haven't played a team like us all year. So let us know in the comment section. And thank you guys for the support on the channel. We are over 1,100 subscribers. We can't do it without y'all. So with that being said, have a great rest of your week. Enjoy March Madness and roll Tide.